Hey guys, this is what I do every day. I wake up, shut off my fan, usually cough and growl and grunt a good bit, because when you sleep with a fan on, it tends to make you breathe in dirt all night. And then I sit up. I go like this, and I pray. And at the end of my prayer, I take a deep inhale, and I go, Amen. That's how I wake up. Then, once I get up, I get my bottle of water. I drink a bunch of water. Go in the bathroom, brush my teeth, take a little piss, and then my day begins. This is my daily guideline paper. At the top you can see the most important thing is get my cutter tap work done. So I try to get some coaching in if I have it scheduled. I do a little bit of writing if I can. Try to reach out to people to see if anybody wants to have a coaching session. Check email and make sure I can solve problems like fixing people's subscriptions and answering coaching requests and other membership problems. I send the notes for my coaching sessions. I pray 3 times a day. Meditate for 10 minutes at some point. Exercise a little bit. I used to exercise more and try to bodybuild and stuff, but whatever. Take a cold shower every day. Do this thing called the Wim Hof method for 15 minutes. I just did it right before I started filming here. There's this video on the screen here. It's about 15 minutes, and it's just a breathing technique that I'll kind of demo for you in a second here so you guys can see how that works. Eat 3 full meals. I actually have to force myself to eat because I don't like eating very much. Unless it's really good food, and then I really like it, but generally I'm just eating, whatever's in the pantry, and I'm not very motivated to eat that stuff. Try to go to bed and get up at the same time, and I like to get at least 8 hours of sleep, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. If I go to bed at 11 and then get up at 8, I can maybe not fall asleep until midnight, and then I'll still get 8 hours of sleep, or maybe I wake up a little bit before 8, and I'll still get 8 hours of sleep, so I like to make sure I get enough sleep there. Clean my room every day, because when you have an organized and clean room, it makes everything easier in life. And then I take Wellbutrin. That's my medication for depression and stuff, but I don't feel like I'm depressed anymore. I really think that's completely solved it, honestly. Wellbutrin is kind of a godsend for me. And then I take turmeric daily too. I'm not as good about taking turmeric, but I think it's good for you. And then I just spend 15 minutes trying to get random adult life things done, such as getting your brake pads fixed and scheduling that, or, signing up for classes at Sac State. And then the last and final thing, probably the most important thing on the list, is reward myself for actually doing everything on that list, because if I don't reward myself for doing the things I should do, then I might as well just, not do any things on the list, because then I have no motivation to if there's no reward behind it. So this is how the Wim Hof method works. You lay down somewhere on the ground or on your bed. I like to kind of tuck my hands under my my back and my butt and kind of cross my feet, but anyway that makes you comfortable. And it's all about breathing. So you go deep inhale, and the way you breathe in is into your diaphragm, your stomach, up into your chest, and then kind of imagine that it's coming up into your head. So it kind of goes like this, and you can kind of watch my facial expressions as I go here. It's and then when you exhale, you're not supposed to push it out, you're just supposed to kind of go, and you do about 30 of those. So you do the inhale and exhale about 30 times in a row. And I like to do it a little bit rapidly. So, 5 in a row would be like, that's only 4, but you get the idea. So I do that 30 times in a row, and then on the 30th exhale, I don't inhale after that, and I hold it for 2 minutes. And you might not think you can hold your breath for 2 minutes, but after you've done that 30 times, you can. And so I leave no air in my lungs, or very little air in my lungs, and I hold it, and I don't breathe in for 2 minutes, or just a minute and 30 seconds if I can't really hold it. And at the end of that, I do a deep inhale, get as much air as I can into my lungs, and then I hold all that air in me for 15 seconds, and then I exhale, and then I do that whole process 2 more times. And that takes about 15 minutes total. What it does is, it just really jumpstarts you, you know? Kind of gets your adrenaline going. And it makes you just feel really good. It's good for your immune system too. It's healthy for you, so that's why I do that every day. All the other things on the list are pretty straightforward. It's like, everybody knows what meditation is. Everyone knows what exercise is. You know what a cold shower is. I turn the dial as far on the cold side as I can. Eat 3 meals, pretty straightforward. All that other stuff's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's what I try to do every day. Then I move on to my website work. I've got a bunch of pinned stuff on here, and I'll go to my site. Usually the continuously updated list post is what I look at first. I'll just like scroll through it, see how I'm feeling, check the dates, see when the last time each of the things were updated. And by the way, this is something that you're only going to be able to see as Stage 2 members, but I do have a bunch of lists on here. So this is what you can see in the free section, is just these 2 lists. And then there's a buttload of lists. It's just deck lists for everything you can think of. There's expanded. And basically this is like my favorite thing to work on, is just updating lists. So anyway, I tend to work on that a lot. I tend to check when the last time I posted an article was, so it looks like here November 13th was the last time, and today is what, the 20th, so that's a week. I probably should try and get something posted soon. I've been working on my Persian article recently, so a lot of information here. A lot of it's probably going to get cut because a lot of these variants just aren't really playable. I'm about 1,700 words in, and I'm just like, some of these decks just are not good. So that's what the website stuff looks like. I go to my Facebook too, and I check my messages and stuff, and stay up to date with people I coach, because I stay in contact with pretty much everybody I coach. You know, I'm messaging most of the people I coach on a daily basis. So I do that, just trying to stay up to date with all that. Then I work on my decks, kind of just open each deck box, see what I think of each of the lists, and move on. I was just demoing some hands with this Persian variant that's focused on Pidgeotto. It tries to checkmate. Got Mewtwo here. And then I try to think, like, is there anything that I want to change in this list from yesterday that I didn't like, or that I did like? I think I'll just leave this one. Actually, I do want to put a 4th Dedenne in here. This is the 2nd place list. Oh no, that's Zard, actually. This is Mewtwo. There's another Dedenne in there. I like the Zard list. Persian, I wanted to add in Palpad. So this is kind of what I go through in my head. I'm like, alright, what do I want to change here? And I update all the decks, and there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them right now. And then I'll probably build more decks, because I'm constantly building new decks. And I have my miscellaneous card box, so I'll probably organize the stuff that's in there. Honestly, like, at least a third of what I do is just organize cards and build decks. It's kind of crazy how much time that actually takes up. So that's a lot of it. I try to clean up my room. I try to keep things very organized, but it's hard because this is like not a very big space. Like, my room is actually just our dining room. Since I moved back in with my mom, our dining room with a wall put up here. My grandpa actually installed a wall here. See, this was actually just a section connected to the rest of the living room, or the dining room, I suppose. I try to keep things in the same space constantly. This trash can fills up, so I'm like emptying that almost every day, honestly, because anyway, who cares? Keep all my binders here. Try to keep them very organized, actually. It's that's like my big thing. I try to be extremely organized. So like, I just reorganized everything. This is kind of my flex page. I keep all the Champions Festivals here. Hunter has my 9th one, I think, right now. And then I go typing by GX, and I leave 1 space between each. So grass type, empty space. Then Then I have my water types, and then an empty space, so that if I find another water type GX, I can just throw it in there. Another type grass type GX, I can just throw it in there, and do that with all the different types here. A lot of these are just in decks, which is why a lot of them are open. So that's why you see all the spaces there, is just in case I get another of each type. And this is like miscellaneous page. Then I have all my energy, and this isn't my trade binder. This is like I deck build out of my binders and trade out of my binders. I got stadiums, supporters, and I do one open spot on each page of my supporters and items and trainers and stuff, because it's a really big pain to like have to redo the whole thing because they're alphabetized. So like B, C, C, blah 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 blah. So like if I get, for example, a supporter that starts with an E, if I had no space here, I would have to like redo the whole thing. But if I get a supporter like I don't know, another Erica, I want him here, I just have to pop this out, pop those out, put the Erica there, and then I fill up the page. So I leave the spaces like that. So I got all my supporters, and then we get into the items. Blah blah blah. Open space, and then I have my Pokemon organized the same way as the GXs, by type, with open space at the end of each type. Blah blah. And this is my standard binder. This is just my standard binder. And then last page is miscellaneous stuff that I haven't organized yet. And then I got two more, right? So this is, I think, Pokemon. Yeah, this is Pokemon and Expanded. Same idea. I just have so many cards, man. And then I have my trainers. Same idea for Expanded. So those are my binders. Keep them all right here. Good space, because then it's like by my deck building area. Then I have even more cards over here. This is like bulk, energy, random sleeves, other trainers alphabetized by stadium, as well as supporters and items, random stuff I need to organize, I think more random stuff I need to organize, Pokemon by type, so we got all the normal types, all the psychic types, more bulk cards because I ran out of space here, and then I have my many sleeves, so I've got a bunch of sleeves just laid out here. I really need to like organize these and put them away, but I don't have a space for them yet. And then I have more cards down here, many deck boxes. I've got my old stuff, more bulk, more energy, just like tons of cards. And then I have my books. Ooh. Got my books. I'm reading like 5 books right now. Admittedly, I'm still reading the Twilight Saga because apparently I'm never gonna grow up out of middle school. So I'm a little bit through New Moon. I just started reading Game of Thrones. I'm almost done with The Shining. I'm reading Death Note for like the 5th time or something like that. And depending on my level of, I don't know, intellectual interest, I'll pick one. So like if I'm feeling a little more intellectually active, I'll probably go for the Game of Thrones book, because there's a lot of stuff to remember with like which character is which and blah blah blah, and it's like kind of confusing. New Moon is like, I just feel stupid and I want to read something dumb. Yeah, it's just a dumb book. And then The Shining's like, you know, if I want to scare the pants off me. And then Death Note is like super easy read, just kind of cool. I still like manga. I'm still a middle schooler. And then laundry, I'm doing laundry like every day. I don't know why, stuff is always getting dirty. I'm always taking notes too. I have my notepad here. I'm always writing stuff down, like deck list ideas, stuff that I think of when I'm meditating. I meditate right there, and I like have my notepad by me, and every time I think of something significant, I just like write it down when I'm doing the 10 minutes of meditation. Got my bigger backpack for like when I'm bringing decks. That's my little bag for like my wallet and my keys and blah blah blah. If I'm just not gonna bring my bag, I always keep my fan there. Have my many shoes tucked underneath, and that's pretty much my room. I try to keep things pretty clean and organized, but it's kind of hard with all the decks and the cards and blah 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 blah. And then this is also my coaching setup. Got the tripod there and the mic and a bottle of Optimine, which is pretty much just caffeine pills. And yeah, that's my room. That's my setup. Oh yeah, also this is a little deck, so I can see nature and stuff. Yeah.